What's up, guys? It's Lawrence with Maximum Freight, and today I just wanted to go over a really simple piece of advice. I really actually wish there was more content on this, and it's basically how do you ask for a quote for shipping? This is international shipping, it could be domestic shipping, it could be really any kind of quote that has to do with logistics. And to be fair, you could even put this to like moving or really anytime you ask for a quote that has to do with moving and transportation. How do you properly ask for that? So I'm going to use an example of how not to ask for it. And my wife is probably going to get mad at me because I'm actually not using her as an example, but she forwarded me an inquiry from someone that she knows. Okay. So I'm going to put it on screen and show you guys what it says. What's an estimate of, we were to ship all of our stuff to the US from here? Could you ask him, that's me, like the bed, the couches, allotted? All right, so that's how you don't ask for a quote. We get inquiries like this all the time, though, online through our website and everything, emails. I'll meet people maybe at a gathering or whatever, give them my business card, and they'll email me and they'll just be like, how much is it to ship a car? That's it, right? So obviously a lot of details missing, and I'm just gonna go over what, it's not very complicated. It really comes down to a few basic things. So the first thing is, where are you shipping from? Preferably if you have a zip code, that's better, but where are you shipping from? Where are you shipping to? And again, zip code is ideal. The other thing is, what are you shipping? We need to know the commodity. Then we need to know the weight. And this can be general. It doesn't have to be spot on, just a rough weight. And we need to know the size. Okay. So it's from to, what are you shipping, and the weight. And I would also mention the dimensions roughly again. Okay. So usually when we go and we work on a quote, we obviously have to know the destination and origin. We have to know how big the items are, how much volume it takes up, and we have to know the weight. And the reason why we have to know what shipping is because that affects the quote, right? If you're shipping like hazardous material or batteries versus like a couch, it matters. Certain things require special care, things of that nature. If you want to add how urgent it is, that can also help. Like if you need it really quickly, obviously we would quote like an air shipment or express courier or something like that. But if it's not a rush, we'd probably use like ocean shipment, right? And we might even get cheaper options for slower transit times. So the more details, the better, but those elements are very critical in getting a quote. So I'm looking at this quote and I'm telling you guys, this is like very common. People are just like, how much to ship a car to Africa? And it's like, well, what? How many? What is it? Is it an SUV? Is it a sedan? Is it like a little Mini Cooper? Is it, that's really significant. And where in Africa? Africa is a whole continent, like you kind of have to know. Even within the same country, it matters. Like if you say India and it's like a port near India and that's where you need it, that's a lot cheaper and less complicated than if you have to go like, say, a few hours inland in India or Pakistan or a country that doesn't quite have the infrastructure that the US does in terms of highways and rails and stuff like that. Not to say India and Pakistan, as an example, doesn't have that. They do, but certain locations are definitely harder to do inland transportation. So even if you just say India, right, but you meant somewhere like super inland and not near the port, near the coast, that's a huge difference. So the more details that we have, the better. You want to just have as much information as possible to get the best quote possible. I think sometimes people might actually give maybe just enough information to get a quote, but then when they go and they give all the final details, they get a much different number. And it's because you stated your commodity is more valuable, or your port or the final destination actually is a little bit further than what you originally intended. Or maybe instead of coming out of LA, it came out of like Colorado somewhere. That makes a difference, right? Or maybe the weight went over a certain capacity, or maybe the length went over a certain capacity and now it's like a oversized shipment. All these things really matter. So in this quote, as an example, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. Well, I guess it's going to the US, but it doesn't say where. It just says bed, couches, a lot of it. So what is it, like 3? Is it 1? I have no idea, right? And then obviously we don't know the origin. We don't know the value. We don't know if like is this. Oh, this also matters too. Is it personal effects, right? Are these your own goods or are these commercial goods? Because that plays a role as well. So this is how you don't ask. Make sure you include as much details as possible, but at the very least, origin, destination, what you're shipping, the weight, and the size at a minimum. And the more details you can add, the better. So I hope that's helpful. This is just going to make quoting faster, more accurate. It's going to minimize the chances of surprise charges, things of that nature. I thought it's something that I had to address because we get quotes like this all the time. I'm really not trying to pick on whoever sent this. And looks like it's just a text message. So, maybe they send stuff later. But I wanted to give you guys that quick heads up. So the next time you ask any kind of transportation quote, not just a freight forwarder, you'll get something back that is an actual good representation of what you're looking for. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the details of shipping and important information and terms, make sure to click on the educational series in our links.